Welcome to our channel, and this is just a look at the Elegoo Mercury Plus wash curing station. I bought this because I'm just trying to kind of streamline the process and trying to keep down my exposure to resin due to my health mainly. And based on what I read, hopefully this will do the trick. I think it's a little overpriced, but it does the job and limits my exposure. There might be money well spent. So your front panel here, I'd plug it in, but I don't have I got the cord over there where it's going to be its new home. You have 4 buttons on the front, and then you have your timer display here. You have your mode button, you have your plus time, minus time, and then your on and pause. It goes from 0 to 30 minutes, so your plus, if you keep hitting this plus button, it'll add time. If you keep hitting the minus button, it'll subtract time. The only thing that's kind of weird is there's a rocker switch back here for on and off. Kind of weird they didn't put it up front, but I guess it's not a big deal to have a rocker power switch back here, kind of like your old desktop computer. And that's pretty much it. It works the same way whether you're curing something or washing something. These buttons work in the same fashion, so that's pretty easy peasy there. So the curing part of it, pretty easy peasy. You have your 2 rows of UV lights here. You have a turntable, which I think it uses a magnetic motor, because when you put this turntable on, you can really feel the magnetic. You can really feel the magnet pull the table down. But this table is about 5 inches in diameter, and it just simply goes. I don't know if I can do this here with the paper on it. Oh, there, lucky shot. So the table's about 5 inches. If you print really large stuff, this is not for you. It's not going to work, because it's you're kind of limited to the size of your printed piece here. It won't work unless you have the lid on. So I think this is really meant for pieces that are maybe 6 inches tall, more for figures. I guess you can break your piece down when you go to print it out, make them smaller so they all fit in here, but yeah, you're kind of limited as far as size. I don't think I'm going to be printing anything that big. I don't plan on it. It's not my goal to print like 1/4 scale stuff or 1/5 scale stuff. I'll probably mainly be printing 1/24th, 1/25th, 1/35th, 1/72nd, all the popular modeling scales. Maybe 1/10. I can't imagine going any bigger than 1/10. So I think this will be, for me anyway, in my case, it'll work out fine. So that's pretty much it for the curing side. As I said, you got 2 UV LEDs, 2 rows of UV LEDs. You just put your piece on this turntable, turn it on, hit the mode button. I think by default when you turn it on, it's already in curing mode. But if it's not, you hit the mode to cure, set your time, whether it's, I think each press is a 30-second increase. Excuse me, 30-second increase or decrease. So set your time to about 2 minutes, and then put the cover on, hit the play button, and just let it do its thing. And that's all there is to it. Pretty easy peasy. Now, the wash side is pretty cool. You have your container here with the agitator built in. It's on the bottom. Also is magnetic, because you can feel the pull when you put this on. You can kind of see that turn. So you put your container on here, and it has a max fill line, and it goes from 500 to 3,000 milliliters. So you put your wash fluid in there. If you don't have an Elegoo printer, they give you this basket to put your part in. and you can just slide the basket down into your cleaning solution. It's got a slot and tab up here. Put it in there like that. Put your cover over it. Turn it on. Select wash mode. Set your time. Hit the play button, and then you're off and cleaning your part. If you have an Elegoo printer, you're all set because they include a mount for your printer that you don't have to worry about taking your part off the table to wash it. You just mount your build table and everything right onto this. Just slide it in here and wash your table part and all, and you're done. Now I don't have an Elegoo printer, I have a voxel lab. So I got online, and a gentleman makes a 3D file to print your own adapter that will work with voxel printers. So that's probably one of the first things I'm going to make is the adapter, so I can just take off this L bracket here and then replace it with the voxel lab mount, and then I can just take my table and print off the printer, mount it onto here, drop it down in the bucket, never touch anything, wash it, and I'm pretty much done. So yeah, that's pretty easy peasy there. I read some reviews online that don't like this basket. They say the holes, the openings are too large. To me, I don't know. Maybe they're printing really small stuff, but they look okay to me. But if that is true, if I end up printing small stuff, and I feel it might fall down through the screen, then I'll just line the basket with storm door screen and get rolls of it at Home Depot or Lowe's. I already have a roll because I replaced the one screen in my window a couple of years ago. So I already have a roll of it, and just line this basket with that, and then I don't have to worry about my part falling through the holes while it's washing. So that's an easy fix for that. The lid is a problem though. I think they need to rethink their lid. This lid has the locking tab thing that you find on most Tupperware containers or containers you see at the dollar store, and that's okay. That works great. The locking tabs, they work great. But this lid, I don't know what they were thinking, but the plastic is like really stiff and hard, and these locking tabs, I can tell you right now, they're going to break right off after so many flexings of closing and opening them. In fact, this one's already, I can feel this one already on this side just by doing this. These are going to break, and they're going to break right here. They're going to break off. So they should have made a more pliable kind of plastic lid for the container. So when they break, well, I don't know, you have to go to the dollar store, try to find a Tupperware container or some off-brand container with this lid and replace it. Yeah. Next thing is the gasket that is in this lid. I took it out. You can see there's no gasket in here. I took it out. And now I can just set the lid right over the container when I go to dump the dirty cleaning solution out. Now obviously if it tips, it's going to leak because I took the gasket out, but it's the only way that I can get the lid on the container. The problem is the gasket that they include in the lid here is so thick that you can't get the lid on. You'll bust a nut trying to push down so hard on this to get the lid on to lock it. So I thought this is freaking ridiculous. So I took it out. You can see it goes right back in there. I took it out, and I'm going to leave it out for now. So what I'm going to do, I think, is when I go to the dollar store, I'm going to look for a container that has a lid roughly this size and buy it, and then take the lid and just pull the gasket out. Because I was looking at, You know, my wife has a bunch of these containers in the kitchen that have the locking lids. And I was looking at those lids, and those gaskets are nowhere near this beefy. They're much nowhere near the width of this. So I'll just take a gasket from there. Not one of hers. I'll buy one at the dollar store, as I said. But I'll take the gasket out of the lid, and because they're about half this thickness, and replace it and put it in this lid. And then I should be able to get the lid on, and it'll have a gasket. And if I do tip it for whatever reason, I don't have to worry about anything spilling out. But that's the Mercury Plus. My only complaint is this lid. Everything else seems to be okay. It seems to be a well-built unit. You know, it's got a metal housing and everything else. It seems to be a nice unit. They just need to do something with this lid. And I'll put the specs up. That way you can see the specs of the machine. And decide whether this machine is for you or whether you want to pass on it. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Take care. We will see you in our next video.